What's up?
What's
What's
good?
good? It's your girl Raya.
You already know what's going on. It's Tom.
So, as you can tell by the title, we're gonna do a story time on how we became a family.
Yeah.
So, I'm about to start 2 days before I gave birth, because that's where it all started. So, I get up and get ready for work like a normal day. But you know how you be cramping a little bit and you know you about to start your period. So, I'm cramping a little bit. I'm like, damn, the time of the month about to start. So I get up, get ready for work. I'm at work, carry on like a regular day. So I get home, get ready for bed, and I lay down. This is the 14th. So, something ain't just feeling right. Like, I just wasn't feeling right at all. I'm laying down trying to, find a way to be comfortable, and I just couldn't be comfortable. So, boom, whatever. I wake up. I'm still cramping or whatever, but it's bearable. This is the 15th. I go to work, as usual, but that day, it was it hurt way worse. And I was in and out of the bathroom at work. I'm thinking I'm bleeding. I just had to be bleeding the way I was feeling. I never felt that way before. So I come home that night, the 15th, that night. And when I get home, it's just I'm just not feeling right. So, I decided to go take a little tub. When you get in the tub, soak your body, it be feeling good. Run my bath water, get in the tub. No, nothing. I'm still cramping bad as fuck. So I go to lay down or whatever. And at this point, it's no way I can lay. It's no type of way I could lay where I could get some rest. Because, mind you, I didn't even sleep the previous night. I was cramping a little bit, but I still didn't get no sleep. You know how your eyes be closed, but you not sleep? That's what was happening. So, I'm when I say I was laying in all type of positions, head off the bed, legs off the bed, face down, butt up, I was trying to figure out all type of ways to get comfortable. Wasn't working. So it's about 3:30 in the morning, 4 o'clock, and I just had this little urge that I have to pee. So as I'm getting up, it's leaking down my leg, and at this point I'm running down the hallway I gotta get to the bathroom.
So me she peeing on herself.
I text him man, why did I just pee on myself? But when it's early in the morning, you don't turn the light on, you just sit on the toilet. Yeah, so I sit on the toilet or whatever. And I'm just, letting everything out. I clean myself up. I'm just sitting here thinking I'm 18 years old. How did I pee on myself? How can I make it to the bathroom? So I go try to lay back down. So that morning, I text my mom because I had work again, but I had work a little earlier, 12:30. So I text my mom, I might call off because I'm not feeling good at all. At this point, when I woke up, I'm in tears, literally. Every time I cramp, I'm literally you know how Mr. Crocker be? Fairy godparents? Every time I got a cramp, I was I don't know. That was just terrible. So she texted me this paragraph. She think I was out too late or something and just trying to call off for work. But that wasn't even the case. So I get dressed and I go downstairs. My little sister's sitting on the couch. And our house, you could, the stairs, you could look over and see them on the couch. So I just fall down the steps. Not down the steps, but I just fell. I just dropped.
You tell me that?
I did. I just dropped. And my sister got up what's wrong? I'm just sitting there crying. I couldn't say nothing. She asked me, what's wrong? What's wrong? I'm just I couldn't even say nothing. I was in so much pain. She you want ibuprofen. But mind you, I didn't pop hella ibuprofen. I ain't tell her that. I just popped the extra one she gave me. They weren't working. So I'm just crying I just can't go to work. I still got on my work clothes. I'm like, but it was payday. So I'm like, I'm about to go to the ER, but I'm about to go up to work and get my check because I had plans. His birthday was coming up, so, I was going to get my check, and I had a hair appointment the next day. So, yeah, I was going up there to get my check because, honestly, I didn't know what was wrong. I think I'm about to go in the ER. They gave me some painkillers, and they sent me about my way. But that wasn't the case. So, anyway, I tell my sister come with me, so I'm driving. When I tell you I had to push the seat all the way back, like, I'm talking all the way back, and I'm driving like this. Because every time I get a cramp, like, I kind of, like, jerk. Like, I don't know. It was just so uncomfortable. So, I pull up to my job. I walk in there. I'm just crying. I'm crying my eyes out. Because I just never felt this pain. So, I'm at the customer service desk. And, I'm getting my check. But I got my head down. She see I'm crying and stuff. She like, you okay? I'm like, no. Do you think I'm okay? Like, I didn't say that, but that's just how I was feeling. So I got my check or whatever, and I went to go holler at my manager. I'm in her face, tears and all, like, I'm not going to be able to work today. And the only reason I told her instead of calling off is because I was late the previous day, and she already don't like me. So when I told her, like, I'm not going to be able to work, I'm about to go to the ER, she got an attitude. I got one of them fat white managers with a mole, and she, like, real mean and bitter. So when I told her I wasn't going to be able to work, she, like, make sure you have a doctor's excuse, and walked away. Oh, and then she going to say, you came up here for your check? I just walked away. Like, you're going to get your doctor's excuse. So I'm in the car. This point I told my mom, like, I'm going to the ER. So I'm driving. Like, it's so hard to drive. I swear to God, it's so hard to drive. So I go to Cleveland Clinic. Because I didn't know I was going to go to the ER and have a baby. So I went to Cleveland Clinic. And thank God, since I went early, it was empty. Because, you could be waiting in the emergency room for a very long time. But the lady seen in my face, like, something wasn't right. So I'm just sitting, waiting for them to call me back. So I called my best friend. At this point, I'm still crying. So I'm like, my stomach hurt. I'm talking, she like, what's wrong? What you think wrong? I'm like, I don't know. I couldn't even really talk. I was in so much pain. So this like gay dude called me back, like, you step on the scale, get the background information, ask you questions. But he seemed like he had a little attitude, like, cause I couldn't hardly answer these questions cause I'm in so much pain, and I guess that was aggravating him, and he just asked me questions. He typing in the thing like, do. Like, he got an attitude and shit though. So anyway, they get me to the back. They get me in my room. At this point, I'm banging on stuff. Like, I'm just crying, like, super hard. Like, I don't know what's wrong. I'm in so much pain. I didn't call out for the Lord. I was in so much pain. I'm like, Lord, please help me. Help me, Lord. The lady come in. She do like an ultrasound of my stomach. She didn't see nothing. It was nothing. So another man come in, try to do a little ultrasound and see. Didn't see nothing. It took 4 people to come in there and try to figure something out. But, they kind of figured the pain was coming and it would stop. It would come and it would stop, which was contractions. So next thing you know, they're wheeling me over to labor and delivery. So I get, wait, let me start with this. I'm on a stretcher just hollering. When I say hollering, I mean I'm screaming on the stretcher. Like, you just don't even know. So they wheeling me and they hitting all type of bumps. I was aggravated bad as fuck. Like, but I just couldn't stop crying. So I get into labor and delivery. They strap me up and it's like 3 little straps. And they finally found the heartbeat. And she goes to tell me, you're pregnant. I said, I'm pregnant. Well, I didn't really say I'm pregnant, but I'm thinking I couldn't really say nothing. I'm still crying. So the other doctor, she come in, next thing you know, she's sticking her fingers up me. Like, when I say it hurt, like it hurt. She's sticking her fingers at me, she talk about you 7 centimeters dilated, you about to have a baby in 30 minutes. 30 minutes? About to have a baby. All these thoughts running through my head like, I'm not ready for no baby. I didn't know I was having no baby. But like, what? What's going on? I'm about to have a baby in 30 minutes. And then I'm just thinking like, oh my God, it's probably so much things wrong with her and everything. At this point,
she was getting tired, all type of shit.
At this point, I told my sister, like, we gotta call my mom. And my mom working at the Cleveland Clinic main campus area. So she was there in like 10 minutes. You could tell in her face like she was crying and stuff, but she kept it strong. When she walked in the room, I was like hiding my face. I was real nervous. So, she was like, the first thing she said was like, it's gonna be okay. That kind of made me feel better. Because I thought my mama was gonna come in there on all type of trash, because that's my mom crazy. But anyway, she had rubbed my forehead like, it's gonna be okay. So in my head, I'm thinking it may be okay. I'm whispering to her because I don't really want the doctors in my business. I'm like, I don't want no baby. I can't have no baby right now. And she just like, girl, bye. Like, you about to have a baby, and that's just what it is, and you're gonna have to do what you gotta do. So she like, so like, who's the father? Is you gonna call him up here? But y'all, I looked this so ugly.
I don't care about none of that. She won't fuck me for real. She would've called
I
me.
looked so ugly, and then I was just going through so much, and it hit me all at once. So I didn't call him till after I had the baby. I didn't even call him. I texted him and sent him a picture of the baby on my chest.
Oh yeah, so phone. I woke up this morning, she wasn't on the phone, so you feel me? I tried to call her, and she ain't answering. Called her like 3 times, and she ain't answering. So I'm like, fuck, she probably still asleep, son. So boom, I went back to sleep, woke up again at I called her like 9, woke up again at like 10. Went on Instagram, I seen her, she posted on. I'm like, man, I know she seen my shit. I know she seen it. So I wasn't tripping. Went back to sleep, woke up at 12, text her again, like, babe, what's up, babe? I said something like that. She didn't respond, so I'm like, man, what's going on? She on Instagram and shit, but ain't telling me back or nothing. So going after that, it was like 2:30. I'm like, she texted me like, no, I texted her like everything. I'm like, everything cool. I said something like that.
Just as I told you I was going to the ER.
Yeah, she texted me like, yeah, I'm going to the ER. I'm like, everything cool? No response. So I'm like, man, what?
I didn't text him back to after I had the baby, because like I said, I looked at Fry. I was going through too much. I just had to wait and tell him. I had to gather up the words. I was still in shock myself.
Yeah, so she texted me that and her no response. Next thing you know, was like 4, 6. No, like 6. It was like 6.
It was like 5.
It was like somewhere around there. She sent a picture of the baby, long paragraph. I looked at my phone, like, put that bitch back down. Went back to the phone. Zoomed on the picture, like, oh, that baby do look like me. So I'm like, oh, no, I'm about to call my mama. So what? She didn't believe me at first. So she came home and got me. My car was messed up. So I had to wait for her to get here. So she like, oh yeah, you gotta go get the baby a card and some balloons and stuff, something like that. So went there, got a little card, got balloons. Came there. I'm sorry though, she ain't call me though. She don't really go.
But let me tell y'all about the actual labor itself. So I'm 7 centimeters dilated, which means I'm about to have a baby in no time. At 10 centimeters, you pushing at that point. So, I'm like, at this point, I'm pregnant. I'm about to have a baby. I need the epidural. Period. I need the epidural, and they take so long to get it, and I'm already at the end. So she went and got the epidural. Everybody got to step out the room to get the epidural. So if anybody confused at what an epidural is, it's basically a needle they stick in your spine and they paralyze you from the waist down. So when I tell y'all the needle's so big and it hurts so bad and they want you to squeeze and bend over, but I can't even do that because contractions is hitting me like a big old truck in the stomach every 3-5 minutes. So the nurse come over to me and I'm like I needed her at that point. I'm laying on her like this, holding her like this, trying to bend over. She like, you got this, you strong. And I'm just bawling on her shoulder, just crying. And they sticked the needle in my spine, I guess. And it was like a warm feeling. Then it was like a sting and my legs felt numb. At that point, it kicked in right away and I laid back and I closed my eyes. And I went to sleep a little bit because one, I was exhausted, I was tired, and the pain was finally over. Because when the contraction came, it was like nothing, pressure, and I could kind of feel her sliding down. And at one point, she was sliding down. I'm like, it's time to push. I got to start pushing. She like, so you ready to push? I'm like, yeah. So my mom hold my right leg, my sister hold my left leg. She like, Raya, 1, 2, 3, push, breathe, push. So, I'm trying it, and it just seemed like she just wasn't coming out. So they had a mirror in front of me where I could see her coming out. So, push. So it didn't get hard until her head was out like this. And her shoulders, oh my God. When I say her shoulders hurt so bad, I gave up pushing. They like, Raya, you got this. You have to keep pushing. Trying to motivate me, but I swear to God, what's them ladies called in the room? Midwives, I think, the most irritating people in there. Like, I get you trying to motivate me, but honey, shut up, okay? Like, I just did not want to hear that. So anyway, after she came here, it was like she flew out like whoosh. It was like everything flew out. And my mom cut the umbilical cord. She told me it was real hard, like real hard.
Sick if I was there. Fight.
He couldn't handle it. So I'm laying in the bed. I had to work up like some courage to call my best friend. Like, I just didn't know how people was gonna take it or feel. So I called her like, I'm like, first I text her like, I gotta tell you something. And I called her and she like, you pregnant? I'm like, I just had a baby. She like, what? Like, just shocked. So I'm like, don't tell nobody, like, 'cause I just really didn't want nobody in my business. So, her and Jada came up to the hospital. They brought me a pack of diapers and stuff. It was so nice. So, they took the baby up to the NICU and Cleveland Clinic. You separate from your baby. It's not like Rainbows where, your baby in the incubator next to you. So, I got in my room, and then I'm laying there. I'm like, I gotta tell my family. Like, gotta tell my family. So I called I text my sister. I'm like, I just had a baby. Of course she didn't believe me. Nobody believed me. So I had to send an actual picture of her laying on my chest for anybody to believe me. And then I text my auntie, and she like, girl, bye. And I sent the picture. She still didn't believe me. Anyway, they came up to the hospital and stuff. So at this point, we got to figure out what we going to name our baby, because we weren't thinking about that.
Well, we didn't even know.
Like, we weren't thinking about no baby names. So of course not, Lil Baby fanatic. Talk about Dior. You know, I like that name, but I felt like Diora was a little more feminine and it sound better. And then I was texting my friends like, I needed help with a middle name. So Cassidy was like, Brielle. I fell in love with Brielle. I love that name, like Dior Brielle. Ain't that right, mommy? She's asleep. Let me not bother her. She be yelling. But so we named the baby, and then I had to learn how to feed her and everything. It was just like so much. But I had so much support. A lot of people came up to the hospital to see her. She had her own room for like maybe like 4 days. And then they
4. It was a hike to get to her room.
Yes, because it was like I was all the way in another building. Though? I couldn't walk, so
she was like crippling.
And he stayed with me all both nights.
Tiny ass bed, no room. No room.
The bed was real little, but the first night we didn't sleep comfortable at all.
Back hurting.
At all.
Bed kept vibrating, moving up and down.
But the second night, don't me and Lyle, we was knocked out.
Yeah, we was. We
was knocked out. We was tired. I'm talking about having to go back and forth. Hardly getting no sleep.
We was in her room tonight. 2.
No, we was later than that. It was like 4 because she.
You got to feed her at 9, 12, and 2.
12 and 3.
Yeah.
She ate every
3 hours.
And that was just too much. When I say at first when you breastfeed, you cramp. I'm like, I didn't want to do it. Because, like, it hurt at first. And, what else should we tell them?
Next day.
The next day.
Everybody bought. People was coming there in your family.
Man, I had so many family up there to see her.
Clothes. My mama went shopping.
Said, I'm talking about we had 2 cribs, 2 car seats. We just had a whole bunch of stuff before she could even come home. And then I had 2 baby showers. After I had her, it was like a meet and greet, not technically a baby shower, but I mean it was because I got so much stuff. And
my grandpa's iced.
He iced.
Pampers.
He bought me 1,400 wipes and a case of milk. My grandpa don't play. He don't play. Well, he said his name. We call my grandpa G-Pop. He talk about his name is G Pop now. She not about to call him that. When my dad came up there, like, you could tell he was crying. His eyes was red and stuff. And at first he ain't want to hold the baby. But then he held the baby. It's something wrong with him. My mom thought she was running the show up there. It just was a lot. My friends came up there almost every day.
My people didn't come up there. My friends.
That's because you ain't tell them.
So, yes, I did.
You ain't tell them to come up there.
They fine. They see him when they see him. Only one of my niggas saw him. All her friends were.
That's because they made a way to come see their TT. Period.
That's what's up.
Period.
That's what's up.
Shout out to the TTs. But anyway, this was our first video. And if y'all like it, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and share.
Yeah.
We're going to be back with another video.
Okay.
Tell them bye, mommy. Say bye, mommy.
Look at that fake love, man.
Say bye, mommy.
You fuck with us.
She be knocked out.
Real love only, no fake love.
What's wrong with y'all?